Yo, this is a hidden conversation with my daughter. Yo, before you do anything, make sure you follow me and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube video. But me and my daughter was just having a conversation. I kind of value her knowledge, but I got off camera. She's over there cooking some mac and cheese. And she was asking me some questions. I was like, yo, let's just do a hidden conversation where we talk about these things. So you may hear some stuff in the back because she's doing what she got to do. But with that being said, I'm going to start answering some of the questions that she had. Because we have some crazy questions. We go deep in there. And this is with my other daughter, Jazz, too. So don't just think that it's just with her. All right. What you got for me, Josh? Go ahead.
What do you think is the biggest issue that's destroying the Black community?
See, she decided to go there. She said, what is the biggest issue that I think is destroying the Black community in 2023? Some people may not like this and realize when I'm saying black and white, I'm talking about these social constructs. I believe that when you look at white and black, one is considered to be superior to others, inferior. I don't believe in the constructs, but I do believe that there are identities that you carry while you live in this physical world. So the Black community is my community, or the community I identify with. And I think what's plaguing the Black community, or plaguing the struggling part of the Black community, is a lack of information. I think a lack of hope. I think poor education and just not having access to certain things and exposure. And I would say that because when you look at what's going on, the things that tend to excite a large part of the Black community is entertainment. And I can make money and become rich by being an athlete. And we know if you're an athlete or you're an entertainer, it could change your life. But we also do know that it's a small part of those individuals that ever make that amount of money. But I think it's something that they see quickly and they don't really see the benefits of education. You know, I was a person that really loved football and I thought it was my only way to make it. But education is what changed my life. Education is what took me to China. Education is what took me to Bulgaria, Spain, and all of these different places. And education has given me the ability to be able to articulate my messages in a way that I wasn't able to do when I came from a very tunnel vision of looking at life. So, and then when you look at the music, we don't have no real diversity in our music. A lot of it tends to be negative. You know, how many girls can you have sex with? Or the girls controlling their sexual prowess, or, you know, guys killing each other. Like literally, we listen to serial killers on music. You know, so I literally have not been listening to music for the last 4 or 5 weeks. When we was growing up, it was some balance. You know, you had MC Hammer, you had Tupac, you had NWA, you had Queen Latifah, but it all got airplay on the radio. I think it's sad that majority of the music that's played in the Black community, a lot of it is negative, that's promoted. You know, and when you look at any other community, that would never happen. You would never hear my white brothers and sisters talking about how they're going to kill each other and it's just about sex. So I feel like that is something that's actually sad. What's another question?
What do you think is my generation's biggest issue with romantic relationships regarding like talking stages, situationships, all of that?
So she said, what is her generation biggest issue with relationships when it comes to talking and things of that nature? I think social media, I think technology kind of have taken away the intimacy of relationships. You know, when I was younger, we used to have to slide the notes. And if you go back generations beyond that, before they even had they had to be a little bit more creative. But you had to go out of your way to really try to woo, you know, the person that you had an affection or an attraction for. Whereas now I think a lot of it is, from what I hear, Snapchat or these little quick messages. And then you get so caught up with what you see with your eyes that it becomes, you're looking for this idea or this illusion of what a mate's supposed to be. But anybody that's been in a relationship and been in a relationship for a long time realize that there's challenges. You know, there's conflict with personalities, and there's issues when it comes to, you know, how do you stay committed and things of that in a relationship. And I don't think those conversations are being had. And I think people are giving up way too quick on relationships instead of trying to find the fixes. What I tell people about relationships is kind of like cars, right? Like, you love your car, you know, but you can see other cars that you think are nice out there. And as long as your car continue to perform the way that it's supposed to perform, and it's not constantly breaking down on you, and you got to keep changing it out, you try to stick with that car. And I think relationships are the same way. You work on the issues, but if you're not working on those issues, I think either partner could either give up and they go in their separate ways. So I think intimacy is what's going to be lost with this generation, having those real conversations. Because I know in my era alone, and just even as an adult, it's hard for us to have those difficult conversations. So with communication being lost and being a struggle, I think it may be an issue for relationships in the future. Any other questions?
What do you think is the biggest problem with America's society, like our government?
She asked a very, very loaded question. She said, what is the biggest issue with America, society, government, and people as a whole? And it's a very loaded question because I think we are so tied to our social constructs, whether it comes to religion, whether it comes to race, whether it comes to gender, whether it comes to sexual orientation. We get so caught up in these parameters that it limit our thinking. You know, and I tell people it's 3 pillars that I really try to use to drive me now. Be unconditional love, be joy, be peace. How can we really embrace other people's differences and really welcome them and see that it's not an attack on what it is that we believe or what it is that we hold truth to? So I think we're so divided as a nation. Whereas when I was younger during 9/11, I thought that was something that was going to really bring us together, and it did for that moment. But then we went back to our little silos or went back to our little worlds of making money and trying to create our idea of what success is. And we forget about each other. I think it's so easy. And I think inherently we are born to be selfish. You know, babies, they get the best ride, right? People feed them, change their diaper, push them around, and they just chilling, you know, doing what they do. So I think inherently we are selfish, but I think we got to also be selfish with saying it feels good to love other people. And I think the more that we show people unconditional love and try to find joy in all types of situations, whether it's conflict or whatever, and try to find peace and try to say, how can everybody work on these 3 things? I think we'll have a world that's going in the right direction. But I definitely believe social constructs and our differences are what divide us, which are those things that should bring us together and unite us. Because I think other people's differences are beautiful. We don't want everybody thinking the same way and have this homogeneous type of way of thinking because it would be very boring. So I think we got to really learn how to embrace other people's opinions, ideals, and differences and learn to love it. That's it. All right, that's all we got today for Hidden Conversations with my daughter. If you all have any questions or anything that you want me to address from my limited perspective, because I'm not an expert on this. I don't know everything. These are just my opinions. This is what I feel in my heart. This is not saying I'm right. This is not saying somebody else is wrong. This is the essence of diversity. This is what I feel. This is what I think. This is what I believe. Whatever you think and you believe, try to express that. But try not to do it in a manner where you're hurting somebody else. Try to do it in a way that you're showing your love. You're showing your grace. You're showing your ability to seek peace. You're showing your ability to find joy. And when you do that, I think we're working on a very beautiful world. And I think that will make us a limitless society because it's all about checking your life, being limitless. So remember, today is a glorious day. And for 86,400 seconds, I will give my excellence and my best until I'm laid to rest. I'm abundantly blessed and never stressed. Be better than your best and never, ever rest on your last success. Check your life. Be limitless. Peace.